Hi everybody, I'm Kimberly Turner from cookingwithkimberly.com, and today I'm going to show you how to cook beer-braised Napa Jack citrus herb pork loin. So really good stuff going on here tonight. We can customize this for a St. Patrick's Day feel like I'm going to do tonight, or you can cook this anytime. Now I have 1/2 of a pork loin. This is nearly 5 pounds, so it's about 2.2 kilograms, okay? And one side has a little bit more fat than the other, and that's just what a pork loin looks like, okay? So that's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some spices on this quickly. I have a large frying pan that's oven proof, and it's been heating with maybe 2 tablespoons of olive oil. You could use whatever kind of oil you feel like using tonight, but try to use something with a higher smoke point, because I'm going to sear this pork loin completely before finishing it off in the oven, okay? So let me show you how to get started. Okay, so the base of the rub that I'm going to do on the outside is this great rub from Napa Jack's, and it's Napa Jack's citrus herb rub. This is what the container looks like, and I'm going to show you what everything looks like in here. All kinds of delicious things going on in this little tin, and I'm going to read you exactly what they're saying about it, okay? It is garlic spices, including chili pepper, onion, orange peel, parsley, and paprika. But I think there's some other little things in here too that are kind of more secret. That's why they say spices. So that's what I'm using, and I've just removed, I don't know, maybe a good teaspoon or so from the tin. I don't want to keep putting my hands in after I've touched my pork. So I'm going to put some of this, sprinkle that alongside on the bottom. We're going to call the fatty side the top side, and you want that to be the side that is on the top in the oven. So I'm going to also put some freshly ground pepper, just a little bit extra something on there, a little bit more spice. There's nothing like using freshly ground spices. All right, we're going to flip that over, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. That nice rub. That's going to give a lot of nice base of flavor. And some pepper. Try and get that on the outsides too, the ends. Okay, so into my frying pan this is going. My frying pan is heated. Make sure that the oil is dancing, so to speak, or splash a drop of water and make sure it's sizzling before you add your loin. You want this to sear on a high heat. That's going to keep the juices in. It's also going to give you a nice brown crust on the outside, which is lots and lots of flavor. So that's what we need. All right, so fatty side down first. Hear that sizzle? That's what you want. Now let that sit in the pan in one spot. Don't mess with it too much until it starts browning. You're going to check it. You just want it to be brown. You don't want to keep flipping it. You want to flip it one time. So get a nice brown crust before you start moving it. So I like to use a splatter guard for such a time as this. It keeps things from getting messy in the kitchen. If you don't have one of these, they're a really great investment. All right, this is looking pretty good. So I think we're going to flip it over. Be very, very careful. Flip away from you so you don't splash yourself with any hot oil. And it looks great. So that flips. And that's what we've got going on, sizzling and brown. Into the oven it goes at 350 degrees. If you see that this is starting to brown too much, just put a loose foil tent over top of it so that it doesn't over brown. Now this is going to be braised, okay? We're going to add some beer. I'm going to add about a cup of Guinness. You can use whatever kind of beer you like, but Guinness is especially flavorful, and that's what's going in tonight. You're going to make sure that you maintain a nice amount of liquid in there. That's braising. If it dries all the way out, it might just burn stuff on the bottom. You don't want that. You want this to roast in a moist environment. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So here we go. A little bit of chili flakes. I like things to be just a little bit spicy. A couple mustard seeds, you know, whatever color you like. I'm going to add a bay leaf, 1 whole clove, and since we're using a citrus herb rub, I'm going to use a little bit of lime in here. You could use some lemon. I might just use a nice little chunk of that. Half of a lemon, half of a lime. It's going to be nice and aromatic, as well as impart some nice flavor as well. Okay, so you want to make sure you have maybe, I don't know, a 1/2 inch of liquid here during the whole amount of roasting time, okay? So into the oven this goes. If you need to add more beer, or you can add just water. So a pork loin is typically going to take between, I don't know, 22 minutes to 25 minutes a pound. This is a 4.8 pound roast, and so that's going to be, you know, just over 2 hours. So let that roll, make sure there's enough liquid in there. I'm going to check it in about an hour, and I'm going to put some cabbage in also to finish off some veggies with it, okay? Okay, so I'm just getting 2 large carrots prepared into chunks. When I'm doing a meal that's in a large pan like this, I try and make sure that I get some side dishes in there too. That's just less work for you, less dishes as well, and everything can cook together. So chunks of carrots, and I'm going to cut some wedges of cabbage so I can fit it around that roast. The roast has been going for an hour and a half now, and I'm going to take it out to show you in a second. Oh, this roast smells delicious. All right, this looks absolutely beautiful. It smells so good. It's browned, but it's still nice and moist. You have some nice drippings in the bottom, as well as that Guinness. We still have enough liquid, so we're good. If you need to add a little bit more, do that. And I'm just going to add some veggies around it. Now you could use celery, carrots, you could use squash, you could use turnip, potatoes, etc., etc. Whatever it is you have on hand, whatever you like. Now I'm keeping the cabbage in wedges. It's just easy to get in and out, and it'll cook nicely. And back into the oven. These veggies are gonna kind of soak in with the drippings and the beer. It's gonna be flavored beautifully. Very, very nice. All right. Well, I put the hard vegetables in, the carrots and the cabbage in, about 45 minutes out from being done. Now it's about, I don't know, 25 or 30 minutes from being done, and I'm going to add 2 Cortland apples. I've just washed them and chopped them into quarters and cored them. So that's just going on top. These are always a beautiful addition when you're eating pork. I love fruit and pork together, and they're great with cabbage. It's great with beer. It's all just going to work. And I'm just going to make sure that the tops of my cabbage are a little bit wet. We're doing well here. Everything looks fantastic, especially this pork loin. Mom, look at this pork loin. Oh, smell it? All right, I'm covering with a little bit of foil. I'm back in the oven. We've got another 30 minutes-ish. Ooh, it smells so good. You can smell all those herbs. You can smell the beer. Now I put a thermometer in, and we are almost at 160. I want it to hit up to 160, so you can take it out just slightly below that and be good to go. Okay? So my vegetables look like they might take a little bit longer. My carrots will take a couple more minutes, but that's cool because we're going to take this roast out and let it rest. It has to rest anyway. So that way, we'll be ready to eat everything all at the right time. So I'm just going to remove the roast out of here. And I'm going to put the veggies back in for maybe another 10 minutes. So let's cover this up with a loose tent, foil tent. 10 minutes. We'll be ready to start slicing. All right, I think we're ready to go here. Our meat has been resting. It looks lovely. It smells amazing. I'm going to remove this little thermometer. You want to wait until after the meat's rested to take out the thermometer. If you take it out when it's raging hot, it's just going to ooze out all the liquid that you've tried so hard to keep in. Nice and moist and tender and juicy. That's what you want. Okay, so I'm going to take these veggies out. Oh, they look gorgeous too. Look at that. Oh yeah, you got the cabbage and the carrots and the apples. And here is our absolutely beautiful pork roast. Man, Napa Jack's beer-braised citrus herb pork loin. Oh, it smells so good, Mom. You ready to eat? All right, we're gonna cut this up. I'm gonna cut on the bias here. Look at that moist, juicy, tender meat. It's perfectly done. Oh, you got this nice crust on the outside that we achieved earlier. This is beautiful. Well, we're ready to serve this up. A little bit of rice, a couple slices of the pork. Mom, this is for you.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Piece of cabbage. A couple apples. Some carrots.
That looks wonderful.
And some juice. On your rice or your meat?
On
or what?
rice. If you've got enough, I think you could put a few drops on the meat.
Well, there's lots. This is the Guinness Braised.
Oh, yeah. Lovely.
Nice and dark, rich. Right. So here's Mom's plate. You've got some gorgeous pork loin here. The rice. You've got your veggies already done in the same pot. There you go, Mom.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Let me make up a plate too. All right, I'm ready to eat. I have an enormous plate and I can't wait to eat. I've got all that gorgeous braising liquid on my rice and my meat. Oh, come on. Well, Mom, what do you think?
Oh, it's so delicious.
Yeah, you like that? It's moist.
The flavor of that meat, it's so moist, tender, delicious.
It's just glistening. Look at this. It looks beautiful. I don't know if you can actually see it. But man, gorgeous.
And then with the liquid on top of the rice, oh, and the apple, it's so good.
Look at this brown crust. That's the end piece. The chef always gets the end piece if they want it. So that's what I'm gonna eat. This has a gorgeous crust. That spice rub is so flavorful. What a beautiful, simple way to cook a pork loin. Man, these vegetables. How do you like the veggies? The carrot and the cabbage.
Awesome.
Oh, they picked up all that beer and savory herb deliciousness. You can taste it's a little bit citrusy too. Beautiful. Let's see this cabbage. Everyone gets their own little wedge of cabbage.
That's good.
It's tender, but it still has maintained its integrity. It's not mushy, even though it was braised in that liquid. It's all timing. Let's try some of this apple. Apple always lends a nice sweetness, and it always goes perfectly with this combination. Apples are great. They picked up the beer. Oh, the herbs. Yum.
That's good.
It's so good. The braising liquid in the rice is absolutely perfect. So flavorful. Nice and dark, rich color. Oh, just perfect. Now this is a really great meal whether you're trying to make it for St. Patrick's Day or for Father's Day or any other night. Really great. You're gonna have leftovers, enough for sandwiches tomorrow for lunch, maybe a little bit with eggs in the morning for breakfast, and maybe even some for dinner. Really great stuff. Make sure you get a nice big pork loin. All right, one pot meal. Not a lot of cleanup. I did make some rice, but you could have put potatoes in that pan too, no problem. Anyhow, really delicious stuff going on. I really hope that you try it out. The beer went really well. You could use any beer you wanted. You could have used wine. You could use any other liquor. You could use chicken stock. You could use water, okay? Whatever you want. But mixed with this great spice rub from Napa Jack's, that citrus herb rub. Really, really beautiful crust on the outside. You kind of get the best of both worlds. You get that nice roasted crust from searing it and then finish braising it, keeping that meat nice and moist and tender and juicy. You're gonna love this. I'm ready to eat. So check them out online at winecountry.kitchens.com. You're gonna love this recipe. How to cook beer-braised Napa Jack citrus herb pork loin. It's a winner, all right? Check out Mom's website at ingridturnertoday.com. Follow me on Twitter at cookingwithkime with a capital E. Like the fan page at facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on ifood.tv/cookingwithkimberly. youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly, and you can find my channel on Roku, Cooking with Kimberly. Come to my website at cookingwithkimberly.com and subscribe, interact with us, and let us know what's going down in your culinary world, all right? Be a champion in your kitchen and eat deliciously. Bye.